So guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm joking. Um, Today I'm doing a tutorial video on how to fly the 737-800 from cold and dark until landing. But mind you, this is not a detailed explanation, it's just how to get this aircraft started as fast as possible without all the complications. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and get into the cockpit right now, and I'll show you step by step on what I do to get this aircraft started. There's not a detailed explanation, there's just a basic how-to. Because for me personally, this is the best aircraft to use in Microsoft Flight Simulator in workload wise, as in a short haul flight. There's a lot of stuff to push, a lot of buttons. Feels like you're actually doing something during the flight, right? So let's go ahead and get in the cockpit. So we're here in the cockpit of the 737. As you can see, it it can be overwhelming sometimes, like a lot of buttons, a lot of yada yada yada. Also, I'm not gonna be going over the checklist, right? I'm just going to start it up. The checklist is, you can, once you know where everything is on this aircraft, you can begin, doing the checklist yourself and test everything. But for now, this is my explanation on how to get this aircraft started. First off, before we do anything, we will go to the computer right here, go to the electronic flight bag, request our data from SimBrief. You can link your SimBrief account via, I think here, somewhere here, not sure. No, I don't have Navigraph. Yeah, here, this settings icon. You put your SimBrief details there. So today's flight will be from Hurghada International to Cairo International, about an hour and 20-minute flight. And hopefully we don't have any issues. First off, before we do anything with the aircraft, we'll go here on this ground connections. We're going to request our ground power, so that will connect our ground power unit to the aircraft. This is complete cold and dark. We'll go back to our overhead panel here. Usually it's a top down, left to right. So first thing is, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn on our battery and arm our emergency exit lights. Once we have done that, we are going to turn on ground power. Right? Now you're gonna start seeing flickering and noises and I don't know what. We'll just let the aircraft do its thing. Before we do anything, we'll go up top here. We'll go to align, then navigation. Align, then navigation. Right? Come down here. Our yaw dampers are on. Okay. I might be wrong in some areas. It's been a long time since I've taken this aircraft to fly. But these are your fuel pumps right here. All of these are your fuel pumps. This is your cross feed. Usually, for a short haul flight, we'd be using these. We don't have anything in the center tanks. We only have fuel in the wings for short haul flights. These two switches are to transfer the power of the aircraft from ground to APU by pulling these two levers down. And once we switch from the APU to engine, we would switch these far right switches down. Okay, first things first, we'll set our no smoking and seat belt signs to. No smoking will be on, seatbelt signs would be auto. We'll go up here. We'll start our window heats. You just leave this one untouched. We do not need anti-ice. This depends, of course, on the region. So wing anti-ice, we would not be needing it. We're in Egypt and it's pretty hot here. These we'll leave them for the time being. This, however, this panel is what a lot of people do not know how to use and always mess up when starting the engines. When starting the engines of a 737, we have to make sure all of our bleeds are off. Packs, bleeds, everything off. Apart from the isolation valve here and the APU bleed, these two need to be turned on, which open, which is the downward position. Here, this will be our max cruising altitude. We'll set this here. Our landing altitude is our runway elevation, basically. So we check the map for the runway elevation and input that there. And lights, of course, logo. Probe and position, position, strobe, and steady. This will be your strobe lights. Anti-collision will be your beacon. Wing, wheel off, wheel well, sorry, and these are your taxi, runway turn-off lights, and landing lights. These are your ignition switches, the engine start section. Pretty much that's it for the 737 startup, right? Your squawk box will be down here. Let me see if I have a oopsie daisies. Your startup will be somewhere right here. Okay, this is your startup. We'll set our squawk to, let's according to Cairo, it's always a 4741. According to Hurghada, it's 4741. We'll set it to TA only. Our frequency box, since we are flying on VATSIM, it will be 122.8, as there's no ATC online at the moment. There we go, 122.8. Alright, moving on. We'll go down to the FMS here. We'll go to FMC. We'll go to pause init. And our reference airport is Hotel Echo Golf November. Put that here in reference airport. Our gate is gate 72. And we'll take this last position and set it as our IRS position. Go to route and we'll stick it in here. This is our origin. Our arrival is HECA. Flight number will be MSR738. That's our flight number. Next page. On the left side would be your airways, and on the right side will be the waypoints. So airways are usually starting with the alphabetical letter and then numbers, and then waypoints would just be alphabets. So get it, cap it, then we're gonna go to Lima, I believe, Lima 6, I don't quite remember the route by hand, Lima 677. 77 to CVO, I believe, CVO. And just like that, that's our flight plan to Cairo. So we'll hit activate here and execute, and of course we'll see that. So our departure and arrival. Departure will be out of 34 right, and it will be the Solo. I don't think it's Solo, I think it's Solux 1 Bravo. Flight plan. Apologies for the mishap. Alright. Our flight plan is set. Now we'll go to init ref. We can just perf init request. Yeah. We're gonna click load and execute. N1 limit. This is where we come back to this computer right here. We go to performance tool. We'll select our departure runway. Airport from aircraft. And switch this to hectopascals. Calculate. So we'll take off TO and cell temp would be 47. So select TO, cell temp is 47, input that here. Our takeoff, our flaps would be 5 for takeoff. Our CG, you can just click it, it'll pop up 148, 150, 153. That's no problem. Our runway elevation is, so here's 3-4, so we can just put at 50. Our, here, it will be flight level 300. And our V speeds are 154? 153, sorry. Yeah, 153. 153. And that's our V2 speed. And our heading bug. So our runway course will be 340. Put that as 340. 340. We'll just set this straight to our cruise altitude, which is flight level 300. Alright. Now, since everything is set up here, we can begin our APU. So first off, since we have fuel, we'll set this here, turn on our fuel pumps. Anti-collision, since we're starting the APU. The APU knob, you're gonna pull it down to the start, and you're gonna wait for this gauge to go all the way up to 10 and then back to 4. Now, as you can see that the gauge has reached the 4 knob, you can pull down the APU start switches to the downward position. Now, we can begin our, we can first off release ground power unit, the GPU card, and we can begin the process of starting our engines. So we go up top here, we make sure all our top down left right is proper, our probe heat, our elec pumps on, and then this is the tricky part. We have to make sure all these fan and bleed switches are off apart from the isolation valve and the APU bleed. Once that's all done, we can request our pushback, and during our pushback we'll begin our engine start procedure. Mind you, this is not a professional way to do it, and by no means is this the handbook of flying an aircraft. It's just how I fly this aircraft on VATSIM to get the most fun out of it. As you can see here, we're doing the pushback and calling the tug right here and getting our position set. We'll go ahead and start our pushback. Once pushback is started, we can go ahead and begin our engine start procedure. First off, we want to go up top. We're going to start the engine number 2 first, so we'll move the ignition switch to the right, and for engine 2 we'll put it to ground. Wait for the N1 temperature to rise, or the N1 to rise to 22, and then we're going to inject it with fuel. As soon as this knob gets to 22, we'll just go ahead and inject the fuel into engine number 2. Engine number 2 controls the hydraulics of the aircraft, according to what I've learned, as you can see. There we go, engine number 2 starting good here. Beautiful day out in Pergada as well. Very beautiful. Alright, now we go back here. Once this has come back to the off position, we're going to move it to the continuous position. Then we do the same for the next engine. Yeah, you heard that click. Now we move it back to continuous, and we can move the switch back into the center position. First off, we're going to switch to engine, then we're going to turn on these. Move every switch into the on or auto position, and we're going to turn off our APU. So APU will be off. There we go. Seatbelt signs can come on. Get the cabin ready. Get our flaps in. So we'll have flaps 5 for departure. Also our flight controls check. So full left, full right, full up, full down. Rudder's to the left, rudders to the right. Alright. Now we can begin taxi. Alright. There we go. We'll turn on our landing lights. Our runway turn off lights. We'll turn off our taxi lights. We'll call the cabin. Make sure they're ready for our departure. So we'll just go ahead and make sure that there's no traffic incoming. Yep, no traffic. Clear on both sides. Give it a little bit of juice just to line up on the runway itself. Little bit overshot. Yeah, but that's fine. So we have the auto throttle right here. We have armed the auto throttle. So we'll push the engine to 40% here. Right? Once we hit 40%, we're going to hit this button, this little screw here, which activates the tow gun. So give it a little jolt of 40%. Once it reaches 40%, engines are stable, and then tow gun. Forward pressure. 80 knots. Checked. Yep. Rotate. A little bit windy. Put it up. Gear up. It's a little bit windy, she is right here. Yeah, no issues. A little bit, get that. Yep. We're gonna push this speed up to the flaps up speed here. And slowly bring in notch of flaps. Autopilot is armed. So we'll bring flaps 1, flaps 5, showcase. Right after departure, put this to the off position. The engine's in the off position. And that's pretty much it. Now we can bring speed up a little bit because we're in the climb. 250, below 10,000. 248. that is how you depart with a 737. Now you can enjoy the climb all the way to flight level 300. You can hit VNAV here so that the autopilot does control the speeds. As long as we're below 10,000. Pretty much once we reach 10,000 feet, landing lights would come off, or when we turn off lights would come off, and seatbelt signs as well. After that, it's smooth sailing. Hope you guys enjoyed this brief departure, landing. I'll make it a separate video. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and please like, subscribe, and share. See ya!